Breaks through. Speaking of all-time greats, how good is he?
If you're David Mundy, you can do anything.
Brayshaw. Oh, he goose-stepped beautifully. And a couple. Herky-jerky, shake and bake. Magnificent.
That's all right. You're listening to the Flagmantle podcast. You're joined by myself, Rielke and Stu.
That's right.
Mate, Stewie.
That is damn right.
Dude, that's damn right. We're in for a Wednesday afternoon. Guys, for those who are listening in, we've got a nice little episode. We've chopped up the episodes. They're nice bite-sized. And I think you guys are going to quite enjoy the content that we will be creating.
Yeah, well, I think today's episode is probably the most exciting in terms of general AFL news and talking about the footy and whatnot.
What's this voice you're putting on?
Oh, I'm excited.
You're excited for...
I'm so excited for this episode, mate.
mate, honestly.
This is my baby brain child thing.
Yeah. So Stewie's been, getting productive.
I've been
in the off-season.
crafting some new things.
That's it. And has crafted this little episode, which is rightfully the Would You Rathers. You got some Q&As.
Yeah.
Anything AFL related. This is going to be it. So you guys who are not Fremantle fans, this is where you guys can, dabble in the Flagmantle podcast. And you guys can... grab some, info of why you guys should actually listen to the Flagmantle podcast. Not just, this episode alone. Fine if you do. But if you want to, increase and have more of us.
Yeah, look,
because why not?
If your team are playing against Fremantle on the weekend, I think it might be a good idea to check out the Flagmantle podcast before the game. So.
Exactly. The coaching staff definitely need to, because we provide all the facts, stats.
Oh, yeah, we know more than the coaches, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But they want to know, Well, we've got like this little stab of a little segment. It's called the open market. What is it?
So the open market, look, we're going to be doing this every week, and we're going to be talking about all the trade and the debuts and the draft and free agency, and it'll just be 5-10 minutes of some opinions, maybe creating some rumors of our own, maybe what we'd like to see and things like that. So, shall we play the sting and do it?
Mate, we should, but also, guys, if you want to listen to the predictions, we've got some season predictions.
That's coming up.
That's coming up as well, not just that. And whatnot. So there's going to be everything. There's going to be AFL involved as well. I'm going to be talking about our child, our boy.
Yes, our boy. We'll get to him in a little bit.
We'll get to him in a very little bit. But for now,
let's do the open market.
Let's get into it. That's it. The typewriter's out.
Yeah, the typewriter is out, mate. Look, the first piece of headlining news I have is that Sydney are willing to offer Carlton's Tom De Koning a massive 8-year deal.
Whoa,
and
what is Sydney thinking?
This lines up with Buddy retiring. They gave Buddy, I think it was 9 years or 8 years or something like that, and they're doing the same to Tom De Koning. So,
it's out of this world. 8 years for a young kid. That's crazy. Like, you only give those sort of deals to someone who's, come out and kicked, 50 goals in their first year. Like, when Buddy Franklin came out into the scene, everyone knew how much of a generational player he was. And then he comes out and he gets a well-deserved deal. Some say it was too much. Some say it was too little. But that's not the point. Tom De Koning is a talented player, don't get me wrong. But, is he worth the 8 years that they're offering? Like, obviously, Sydney need that, that Buddy Franklin replacement who can go up forward, go on the ruck. Tom De Koning's a generational player, if you want to say.
Well, he could be.
He could be. But he hasn't really shown any of that yet. And how many years has he been in the AFL for?
It's been maybe 4, I think.
Yeah. And obviously, tall
maybe
players
5?
and key position players take a bit longer. But is that really worth it? Is that...
Yeah.
I'd say 4.
It's the
5?
age-old question, what should you pay for a key forward? Especially one that hasn't proven themselves yet.
Fremantle, we know all about the pain and misery, so trust us. We know what we're talking about.
What
else?
My thoughts on this is that 8 years is too much. But I think
it's way too much.
If it's true, if this rumor is 100% true, Tom De Koning would be the stupidest man on earth to decline this. I don't care how much you love the Blues. You're stuck behind 2 Coleman medalists as the third tall ruck sort of thing. You don't really have a role. Go to Sydney and you take Buddy's spot instantly. So for 8 years, that's going to be millions, mate.
I'd pack my bags and I'd go live up in Sydney. No matter however bad the traffic is, Sydney will pay. They'll pay handsomely. They'll give you a nice house on the river. You'll be, sipping cocktails. You guys will be loving it. So Tom De Koning, great for you. But Sydney, what are you doing with the 8-year deal? You never know. You could,
Yeah.
touch wood,
bit
not
strange.
do his leg the next year. Bit strange.
I don't even like re-signing players for 8 years. And that's different because they're already your player. You already know what you have.
And contracts, do they even matter nowadays?
No, they
Not
don't.
even.
They matter on the salary cap books, but the length doesn't matter. A player can just ask out. So, yeah, an interesting one. The next discussion, mate, is going to be Naughton and Georgiades. Ryan Daniels talked to Peter Bell the other week, possibly about obtaining Naughton or Georgiades, one of the two. And basically, Peter Bell didn't deny anything. So that's something to watch for Bulldogs, Port, and Freo fans.
It's a tough one because Mitch Georgiades, you could definitely say that Georgiades, he's a player that needs to be recognised for the talent that he has. He was neglected a bit last year. Mitch Georgiades, though, Fremantle and Georgiades, they do link up very nicely. You'd think that he'd be a very welcome player to Fremantle, especially because we need a young key forward. And Mitch Georgiades is no short of talent, so he would fit quite nicely. He's got the aerobatics. He would be very nice up forward, and a lot of Freo fans would be very stoked to have him. And it's also very more approachable to get because he's out of contract at the end of this year. Aaron Naughton, he's been linked with Fremantle as well. So with this sort of deal gone around with who should we get, Aaron Naughton, I'd take him any day. He's a talented player, future Coleman medalist in my eyes. He's going to be able to, create an opportunity where he gets back to Fremantle. It depends on which year it is. Mitch Georgiades, though, on the other hand, I think is very gettable by the end of the year.
Who would you rather have on your team,
right
Naughton
now
or Georgiades?
Naughton, no question. But is it more, realistically,
probably Georgiades.
Georgiades, it wouldn't be too much of a price. I think a second rounder would do nicely for him.
Yeah.
Somewhere, mid-second round to, if they really want to ask for more, but he's uncontracted by the end of the year, so he can walk away technically. So I think we're going to have the leverage with that if he wants to come back to WA and live in WA because he is an ex-Hale boy, I've seen him train down at Leaderville a couple of times.
Yeah, so, with Body Magic.
Our friend Jared Magi, he's doing a wonderful thing, and he's going to, provide upcoming talented waffle players the spark they need to start their AFL career.
Oh, for sure. Now I have
free
some
sponsoring right here. Jared, mate, what are you doing?
You're
going to get paid for this.
Send this to Jared.
Get paid.
Get money. I have some free agency questions for you, Rielke.
Ooh.
There are two free agents, one that's Fremantle and one that is North Melbourne.
Oh.
Fremantle Dockers, Nathan Fife is out of contract at the end of the year.
Oh.
What are the odds that he stays? And if he leaves, do we get anything for him?
Oh, okay, Nat Fife, tough one. I mean, he was contracted, that big deal a few years ago. Everyone was like, oh, damn, this fella, that's a great deal. We've locked in our captain. He's a Fremantle player for life. I still think he is locked in and embedded in the club, not just by contract, by, the love he has for the fans, the love he has for the club. He won't be leaving. I'm going to put my foot down. He won't be leaving, even though lots of people are going to open up that possibility of him going someplace else. And obviously, good offers will be thrown our way for Nat Fife. He's a dual Brownlow medalist. They don't come cheap in terms of playing ability. So, I just think he's going to be staying. I think he'll get a contract, a redo of his contract. I think he's definitely got another solid 3 years left in him at least.
Yep.
So I think he'll get offered a 2 to 3 year contract, and I think he'll be locked in. It'll be all locked up and put aside by June, July. In my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion, I think it'll be it's just a chat. It's just a chatterbox sort of thing. Everyone's going to be talking about it over East. Oh, Nat Fife's undone. I think he's going to be locked. Easily locked.
The other one is Ben Mackay. And before we discuss Ben Mackay's future, I want to talk about...
Mackay?
It's Mackay.
Is it Mackay?
It's Mackay.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, Victorian fans. We're getting it wrong nowadays.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how that works. But the podcast he has with his brother, what's happening there? Have you seen it?
It looks really good.
They look identical. I've tried to watch it on TikTok. I've seen a little clip on TikTok of Harry and Ben doing their podcast.
The editing nowadays is getting really good.
I can't tell who's who.
It's
I
great.
Can't. Is it the same person? And
and then you're gonna have the audio as well. They sound the same.
Yeah, whoever's pieced it together has done a wonderful job. I mean, Harry and Ben are the same person. But speaking of Ben Mackay. He's a free agent. Well, he's out of contract at the end of the year. Do you think he stays or goes, or what do you think his value
He's going to
would
stay.
be?
I think his value is quite high. I think he's going to be sticking around at North Melbourne. I think Alistair Clarkson, he would want to be, locking him in as a player. I think if North Melbourne get that continued success at football this year, they get improved success. I think Griffin Logue is going to be great for them. Sadly, Griffin Logue, an ex-Docker of ours. So I think he's going to do quite well. I hope he goes and does his best over there. Mackay, though, I think he's going to be a lock. I think Alistair Clarkson will need to pay him the big bucks to keep him.
I think so.
And it just depends on, what other players they want to, attract to North Melbourne, or if they let some go. But I think he's a lock to stay as well. Alistair Clarkson, he's a big key position player. You can't get them often. And he's a talented player as well. Even though everyone's going to be saying, he should join with his brother, whatnot and stuff like that. But I think he's a North Melbourne man. He's a kangaroo. He's a kangaroo for life, in my opinion.
I agree with that one. I think, and the last thing I should say before we move on is some debutantes to announce. So Carlton, as of yesterday, as of hearing this, Lockie Cohen and Ollie Holland have been named to debut for the Blues.
Outstanding.
And over at the Shin Boners at North Melbourne, Harry Sheasel has confirmed that he will be debuting as well. So it's nice to see some new talent in the league. Who do you think is going to be the best out of those three?
Out of those three,
Hollands or Sheasel?
I think I'm a huge fan of Lockie Cohen, Tasmanian prospect, Devon Port. He is an outstanding defender. Apparently, he's been ripping up the track at Carlton, and the preseason games he played in, he did really well. He wasn't shy. He tackled players aggressively. I think he's going to be an absolute steal for what pick he was taken out. I think he was in the 30s.
Yeah, it was a later
35 or something like that, and he was meant to go between the 20s. So I think Carlton have got a gem on their hands. I think Lockie Cohen, don't get me wrong, Hollands
and Sheasel are both great.
Going to be great, but I think Lockie Cohen's got that spark, that grunt, the mullet. Oh, don't get me. Oh, don't even start. I'm falling in love with that. Am I right? He's going to be great.
Mate, before we move on, I have something to announce. We are going to be giving away some tickets to the Fremantle and St Kilda game on Sunday. So if you're watching or listening now, we're going to be doing some sort of giveaway. And this is all thanks to pipe makers. Pipe makers have been supplying tradies with pipes for about 15 odd years now.
Wow.
It's been a while, mate. And they are classification certified. Everything's up to scratch. If you go into your local Bunnings or go to a retailer store, you'll find them. If you're a tradie and you use pipes, you need to use Pipe Makers pipes. And they've supplied us some tickets. You can find them at pipemakers.com.au. And I want to say thank you for supplying us the tickets. We'll be doing a raffle and a giveaway. And if you win the best tickets, you'll be sitting next to me. So
how great is that? Get around it. So those involved in Victorian AFL, get into it, because
Saints fans, Freo fans over Victoria, people that are bored on a Sunday.
We know Saints and Freo fans are very similar, starved of success, but we all, we have loving arms around each other, don't we?
Of course we do.
Would you rather?
Yeah, let's do it.
Love it. All right, get into it.
All right. Okay, so... bass drum. Okay, You guys know how Would You Rather works. We ask each other a Would You Rather question, or maybe you guys send one in, and we just say what we think and maybe have a chat about it. So, Rielke, I've got 3 of my own to ask you today.
Oh, no.
So, my first one is, would you rather have Would you rather have free footy tickets to every game for a year, which means you can go to unlimited games, right? Or have free unlimited beers and food at every game for a year that you go to, but you have to pay for the game yourself.
Have to pay for the game? Oh, that's a lock. Food prices are so bloody high. Can we please lower the bloody prices?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so crazy.
I have to pay $20 for a drink, chips. That's it.
$12 for a mid-strength beer.
That's
what
the hell's going on, AFL? You guys need to, pull some.
And it's
pennies
paper
out of
cups
your pocket
now.
and
It's bloody
chuck it
paper
in
cups. I know we're all supposed to be eco-friendly and whatnot, but I can deal with plastic cups. I can deal with plastic straws.
Screw the turtles. No, I can't say that. We love the turtles.
I don't know. I think a few more
Sorry,
turtles.
that was a bit too far.
There was a whole like sort of thought process on Save the Turtles, and then we had
Yes.
paper straws for about 5 years. Now everyone hates turtles.
I'm just gonna use 5 of them instead. So how's that gonna be?
Yeah,
useful
look,
in the
I'm
environment?
just gonna buy plastic bags. You know,
Yeah. Just bring
I'll
a
make
plastic
up for
bag.
it somewhere. Tom Papley or Toby Green? Who would you rather have in your team?
Tom Papley. He stays out of trouble, and he kicks a few more goals in my opinion. He's got a bit more footy left in him. Toby Green, albeit he's a great player, but he's getting on in his age. Surprisingly, he's actually turning 30 this year.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's 29 at this stage.
Oh, there you
he's
go.
28, 29, but I'm pretty sure he's hitting 30 very, very soon. I saw a stat about it. But yeah, Tom Papley.
Tom Papley?
Yep.
All right, I'm happy with that. So, would you rather swap what team you support, so be a traitor, or never win a premiership with your current team?
Swap the first easily.
You think?
I want to win a premiership, mate. I honestly.
But you're a bandwagon at that point. How much does it really mean if you just swap your team?
Nah, I'm gonna swap my team. Sorry.
I'd stay.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that's a fair one though.
Yeah.
I like that. Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
So we have some from the fans as well. So first up, would you rather question comes from your beautiful girlfriend Maddie.
Hey,
Would you rather watch
Maddie.
an Eagles game or poke your eyes out with a red hot poker?
the eyes go. I'm sorry, but they go. They go.
They go?
They go.
It's a tough question.
The Eagles. Next.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Next one from Zach. Would you rather kick the winning goal or save a game with a smother?
I
Goal.
think I respect the smothers.
Yeah, the
I respect
smothers
the smothers.
good.
How cool would that be? The smother, and they get more recognition because it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's more of a headline if you kick a goal after the siren versus smothering one.
Yeah,
You know, it's a
true.
bit more glory and fame.
I mean, Heath
Like
Chapman got a lot of recognition, but
Yeah,
not as
but-
much as he would have if
Dom Shee got more.
Dom Sheed or
Yeah.
Nunes kicked it from the boundary. What? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, I see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's fair.
Taj would. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that one. Taj, I'm sorry. Think of a new question that's a bit more PC.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Um,
We're keeping it PG here on the podcast.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it PG here.
Or M-rated. I don't know.
Would you rather win 8 grand finals in 10 years or lose 80 in 100 years? From Lockie. I don't know how
I
that
don't know
makes
if
a whole
that
lot of
makes
sense.
Yeah,
I'd
but
rather win 8 than lose
to make them
for
feel
some
better,
reason.
I'm gonna go the
I feel like this question, right, is would you rather win 8 flags in 10 years and then not win one for the next
Yeah.
100? Or would you rather just straight out lose 80, but you've got 20 years where you could legitimately win it? I think I'm going with the first option.
I'm going first.
Yeah.
It makes sense, doesn't
More
it?
flags. AFL amusement. Have dinner with Rory Lobb or a West Coast player.
It'll be quite interesting to see where those forks end up at the end of the dinner with Rory Lobb.
Oh, they won't be in food.
They won't be. Definitely
No.
won't be in food.
No.
So I'm going with the first option.
Rory Lobb?
Rory Lobb.
Rory Lobb. Nice. Well, that's going to be... Oh, hang on. I've got one more question
Oh.
from Only Frio. It was too long to fit in the little Instagram box.
Sorry.
Would you rather Frio win the premiership this year and never win one again, or Frio to win multiple premierships and become the best club in history, with the downside being you don't live long enough to see it?
I want to be like, I'm religious, so I'll be like, above. But like, yeah. I mean,
I'd rather see one.
I'd rather
than-
see one. Sorry, because I've waited. I've waited 5-6 years.
Yeah, I've waited double that.
You've waited double,
Yeah.
and some blokes have been waiting since the start. So I will respect the blokes who still day oneers. There's so much pain already from 6 years. I couldn't imagine 25, 27, whatever years
Oh.
it is. So, yeah, I'm going first option. I want to see
Yep.
a premiership.
Yeah, me too. Shall we move on to our Q&A, mate?
Mate, we're going to get straight into that Q&A because we love those questions.
Or
that
should
you
we
guys
do
send.
our predictions
Oh.
first? What are you thinking?
Yeah, we'll do our predictions first.
All right, so we are doing our 2023 predictions, and we've got our ladder predictions, we've got a Brownlow prediction, we've got every kind of prediction that you'd want.
Exactly. We've copied a couple off AFL. But,
Shout out footy.
Shout out footy. But we just wanted to make it as broad as possible and get as many predictions in as possible. So guys, let us know if we did it right because we like feedback, don't we, Stu?
Yep. Shall we start with the ladder? Do you want to go first?
I'll start with the ladder.
Oh, how about this?
How about we?
You do your ladder first, then I do my ladder, and then we go, with the predictions.
Yeah.
All right. So you go first.
Sounds good. Okay. So I'm going to go with the ladder.
Yeah.
From 18th
from
to 1.
18th to 1.
Okay. I got the Hawthorn Hawks down at the bottom. I think they won't have a pretty good year.
Yep.
They're going to be needing a lot of assistance. North Melbourne, I think they'll do a bit better. West Coast, I think they'll be off the bottom 2, but still not good enough for getting out of the bottom 4. GWS at 15th. Essendon at 14th. These clubs, they're just in no man's land. I can't see what they're doing. 13th, I've got the Crows. I think they'll be another stagnant year. I think they'll have some good development from the young players, but I can't see anything else from them.
Nah.
What else is there? I've got the Bulldogs at 12th. I've got them falling off a cliff pretty much. Not falling off a cliff, but I got them falling quite a bit. I just think the competition for the top 8 is that, strong.
Yeah.
That I have the Bulldogs down at 12th. It's that crazy. I rate their list lower than a few others. In a few seconds, I've got actually St Kilda coming in at 11th, so they're going to be above the Bulldogs. So they've got one up over the Doggies, and then I've got Richmond at 10th.
Okay,
am I butchering it already?
I don't think so.
Not so much. It's just so hard for spots.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
Yep.
Richmond, I think they've just got too many young players. Don't get me wrong, they're very talented and their best beats anyone. But I've got them at 10th. Sydney Swans, a lot of fans are going to hate me for this. 9th. I've got them at 9th. I've got them falling out of the 8. They'll be competing by the end of the season, but then they'll fall short. I think it'll be heartbreak for Sydney Swans supporters. Sorry about that, guys. Port Adelaide, I've got in sneaking at 8th. I think they're going to have quite a solid year. I think now this is my favourite one of them all.
Yeah.
You may have noticed there's no Gold Coast below us. So I've got them locked in 7th.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
The
So
Suns.
7th. Yeah, I got the Suns in at 7th. So
Yeah.
I think the Suns are going to go great. The Turk Miller, I think, is going to have a very solid year. I think he's the Brownlow favourite up there with Andy Brayshaw. Collingwood, I've got in 6th. Carlton 5th. Fremantle at 4th. I think they're going to have a great year. I think they're going to improve on. I don't think those players that left will lose too much talent. 3rd, I've got Geelong. They're staying up there. Melbourne, I've got in at 2nd. I think they're not going anywhere for quite some time. And Brisbane, I think they've got the team that's all round in every single aspect of the field. So I think their midfield's great, forward's great, backs are great. There's so much to talk about with Brisbane, but that's my top 18. Sorry.
Yeah, your ladder.
My ladder predictor.
Now it's my turn, mate. I've gone to sitting because this is getting serious, mate. This is some real important stuff.
Sat down.
In 18th, I have the North Melbourne Football Club. I think they're going to spoon it again. Don't have enough talent. Hawthorn in 17th, pretty bad as well. Essendon at 16th, can't escape the bottom 4. Eagles 15th, a bit of an improvement, but still not great. GWS in 14th. St Kilda at 13th, Bulldogs at 12th. So a few teams that you could see higher up, but I just don't see how that's going to be possible this year. Gold Coast in 11th, so I do like the Suns, but not as much as you, clearly.
Yeah, sorry. Big fan.
Tigers at 10th, Port Adelaide at 9th, and then we get to the top 8, where I have Collingwood, and I think they're going to drop off because they had too many close performances last year, and I just don't see a way
That's
that
fair.
they can win those again. Then in 7th, I have the Adelaide Crows. I really, really like what I've seen from them so far this year. Sydney in 6th. They drop off a little bit. Carlton at 5th. Fremantle at 4th.
Nice.
Brisbane in 3rd because I think they're going to start off white hot, and then by the end of the season, they'll have had
fall
enough.
away? Yep.
Yeah. Geelong in 2nd and Melbourne at 1st.
That's a pretty good little list right there, mate.
Mhm.
We'll get straight into the leftovers.
Yep.
Do you want me to start from top to bottom?
Yeah.
So I go Wooden Spoon.
Yep.
So I got obviously Wooden Spoon, Hawthorn Hawks.
I've got North Melbourne.
Yeah, that's great. We're going to the grand finalists. My grand finalists will be Melbourne and Brisbane. I think those two are going to have good hit out in the grand final on the last day of September.
Yeah, I've got Melbourne in there as well, and I've also gone with the optimist route. I've gone Fremantle to make the grand final. I don't think we'll win
My
it.
grandpa and me will have to, separate the fight that will, ensue.
Oh, is he a Melbourne fan?
He's a huge Melbourne supporter.
Oh,
he was there for
no.
the first, the last premiership, not the 21,
Oh, yeah.
but the one before that.
The one at
In
Optus?
64.
Oh, 60.
Yeah,
Wow.
was there in Melbourne. And then,
Wow.
And then he was luckily enough to get tickets to the one in Perth.
Oh, that's
seen
awesome.
2 in his lifetime.
That's sick.
That's crazy,
That's
isn't it?
crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Your Premier's Melbourne?
Premiers, I've got Melbourne. Yeah.
Brownlow medal.
Brownlow medal, I've got Andrew Brayshaw and Tuke Miller tying.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a
I've
little
gone
fancy
for
one.
Smoky. That sort of fits into my narrative. If Adelaide are going to be as good as I think they are, I think Rory Laird is going to have a Brownlow year.
Yep.
Watch out for him next year. Coleman medal.
Mate, Charlie Curnow, this player's
Back to back.
crazy. Back to back. I think after coming off injury and then doing what he did last year, if he's had a good run at it, he's looking great right now. He can easily kick 60, 70 more.
Agreed.
Even that.
Agreed.
He can do some things, that kid.
My
He can do
Coleman is going to be Tom Lynch. I think Jack Revolt's going to be falling away a bit, so he's going to have to do a bit more. Biggest recruit.
Biggest recruit, I've got Luke Jackson.
Yeah, Isaac
Easy.
Rankin for me.
Is a unicorn. Luke Jackson, Isaac Rankin's going to be great as well. What's happened in the preseason is going to be solid, very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I've got the breakout star. Mine is Jesse Motlop. I think this kid is going places. He already showed so much, even though his stats aren't that great, average, below average, and whatnot. But he did have an above average of 1 goal a game, so he can definitely improve upon this. That was
This
only
is
his
first
first
year
season.
too, so-
He's 19. He's only 180 centimeters, and he's going to go places, this kid.
Yep. I've got Errol Goulden for that.
Yep, lock in. That's a
Some can
no-brainer.
say he's already broken out, but I just think he's going to go to the next level this
Yeah.
year.
You think he's going to go to that Caleb Sarong sort of
Yeah,
next
he's
level?
going to break into the A-tier blue chip youngsters.
definitely,
group.
definitely, mate. I got
Surprise All-Australian. Who have you got?
Nat Fife. at
Okay.
full forward pocket. I
Yep.
think this kid,
This kid?
this guy,
He's like 30.
this kid's 30. And
Dual
he's gonna
Brownlow medal.
Dual medal. Yeah, as a kid who's got 2 Brownlow medals, but I think this guy's going to be kicking 30 plus.
Is that enough for All-Australian?
Yes.
Okay.
30 plus. 30 plus.
Okay.
That's pretty good for an All-Australian forward pocket, don't you think?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Probably aim for 45, 50.
Really?
Yeah.
I would think, as long as you're like being around in the stats and everything else, you're like given score involvements, I think that
Okay.
overrides. But obviously, forward pocket, you want to give them to the actual small forwards. But what's yours, mate?
I've got Todd Marshall. I think
Todd
he's going
Marshall?
to take a much bigger load with Charlie Dixon not being very good anymore. Rising star, who have you got?
I got a rising star in Harry Sheasel. This kid is going to be amazing. The preseason games has shown he's just an adult head on a kid's body, pretty much. He's going to be, or not even that. He's a crazy kid. He kicks goals. He can go up forward. He can go into the midfield. He's going to be very solid for North Melbourne. He'll be playing. Is he playing round 1?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Round
Lock
1,
it in.
Locked it in. He's going to be a very smoky for the rising star, in my opinion.
I've
So,
got Will Ashcroft as mine, the obvious choice. What's your headline of the year, mate?
headline of the year. I've got AFL announces an American hosted AFL game.
Oh.
It's gonna be sneaky.
Where in
It won't
America?
It won't be sometime this year. It'll be sometime next year or
Yeah.
the year after.
Uh-huh.
But it's gonna be on the West Coast because
Okay.
the West Coast over
Like
there has
Cali?
a lot in California. It's gonna be in one of those stadiums. But I just got a sneaky feeling they're gonna try and make a deal. There's something going on behind the scenes. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's gonna be something going on. AFL is gonna move to America for one game, just like the Chinese, the Shanghai game.
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
Shanghai.
it was
It was
Shanghai.
Shanghai. So
Was
I think,
it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
It was Shanghai, and I
Yep.
think America's the next doorstep. I think there's a possibility to expand the AFL there. If they try.
Yeah, my big call or headline of the year is an AFL player is going to publicly date an AFLW player for the first
Is that
time
allowed?
ever.
Surely not.
I
From the
think
same
it's
club?
allowed. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what club it's going to be from, but there's going to be 2 players that are going to be dating each other from AFL and AFLW.
Mate, I like that one.
Yeah.
I like it. Love, indeed. Big call. I got Suns to not only play finals, but to also win their first elimination final. So I think Suns will not just take the first step to get to finals. They're going to take a second step and win a final. I think there's going to be some good momentum with those 50 fans they've got.
That's a bit
they're
generous.
They're
There's
going to
probably
pack out
30.
the stadium. They're going to go great. But yeah, that's my little predictions wrapped up. What about you?
My big call is that Adelaide are going to make the 8, and they're going to be pretty good this year. I think they're going to challenge some of the better teams.
Yep.
And I just like the talent they have, especially up forward.
Yeah.
And if you can rotate a few of those guys into the midfield, that'd be even better too. So yeah, I'm excited for the Crows this year.
Definitely. Well, mate, do we want to get into the Q&A?
Yeah, let's do a super quick Q&A.
Super quick. We'll go through this rapid fire because we're going to get this done.
Fire.
Mate, you sent the bloody questions in, so we're going to bloody answer them. That's how it works here. You're listening to Q&A here on Flagmantle Podcast.
All right. First question from J2 Woody. Fremantle's highest position on the ladder and when? That's a bit of a strange question. First
at the start of the season.
In the future at some point.
Yeah, we will.
Taj. Again,
Hi, Taj.
A more suitable question for the podcast. Who would win in a marking contest? Fife with 2 chickens strapped to him or Lockie Schultz?
Lockie Schultz, he's got an underrated mark, that fella.
I think the chickens help Fife. So I
think they'll like...
I think they'll like... He'll like fly up and, you know.
Okay, that's fair. I got Schultz, though.
Cade, Fagan, gather round, yay or nay? I'm nay.
I'm a nay.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Aiden Owen, Fife to win the Coleman. Thoughts? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, in an optimistic world, yeah, you could see that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he'll be in the top 10, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Top 10.
Scaff Fizzle, how long does it take to line up for drinks at the Garden on Saturday night? This is about me going to Leaderville.
Look at you, little party animal.
I'm sorry, you were supposed to
I
go
can
as
smell
well.
the beer off you, mate.
I didn't have
you
one
smell
beer.
of beer. You reek of it.
I don't smell at all. Mate, you were supposed to be there. Where were you?
Yeah, I know I was.
Where were you?
Where was I?
This was Jack's birthday.
You know exactly why I wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It takes a very long time to line up at that bar. I'll tell you what, I'm there for like half an hour. Yeah. I'm at the front.
For a $20 beer?
For like 20 minutes. Oh, it's like $12 maybe, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's all right.
AFL Amusement, thoughts about the impact that clouds have on the political state of the world?
They have a very deep, profound effect.
They have an impact. Jess Climac, 01, my beautiful girlfriend. Who's the weakest player? Hey, don't.
Sorry.
That's my girlfriend. I can do that.
No. I'm catcalling from over there. Yeah, it's not me.
You can't catcall my girlfriend?
No.
On the podcast?
Yeah, true.
Mate!
You've put me in a bad position.
Weakest player. Who do you think the weakest player? Caleb Daniel? Maybe?
Yeah.
He's small.
It's quite tiny.
Motlop's pretty skinny. There's a few little... Archie Jones is pretty skinny.
Oh, Harry Jones?
Archie.
For
dogs.
Oh, yeah.
From WA,
yeah. Poor fella.
Yeah, he's pretty light.
You could easily say GWS player. He went to Swannies. What's his name?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Sorry, I can't believe I forgot.
Some more questions. Ahead of Sunday, do you prefer as a coach Ross Lyon or Justin Longmuir? I like JL.
I like Justin Longmuir, mate. He's a tactician himself. He's going to deliver us the premiership. Ross didn't, so he's not going to even deliver one at Saints, in my opinion. I think he'll be stagnant.
From Jazz Dancer, the last question we've got: who for Fremantle is going to be next up to make their debut?
Oh, jeez, Matt Johnson, easy.
Yeah, Matt Johnson.
Round one.
Not round one, but I think in the group of unplayed players, he's probably the top of the list.
Mate, that sounds great. Thank you for all the questions.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for the podcast too, mate. Remember, there are tickets that are going to be available thanks to Pipe Makers. Visit pipemakers.com.au, by the way. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Rielke, mate, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure as always. Guys, remember, this all happens because of you guys. Well, we're going to say that cliche thing. You are Flagmantle. You are Flagmantle. We are Flagmantle. You are Flagmantle too. We'll
see you guys.
See you later, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Flagmantle podcast. It's been an honor hosting, hasn't it, Rielke?
It surely has been, mate.
Can you please, we are begging you 5 stars on Spotify. It means the world to us. It lets us
I'm on my
get off your knees, mate.
Yes, I'm on my knees, guys. Please.
It helps us push it out to as many people as we can. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, anything else, Realcar, Twitter,
anything
YouTube.
social media, honestly.
Anything social media, we have it. So please follow us on there. 5 stars.
Except
don't
for
forget.
OnlyFans.
We're also on Apple
OnlyFans.
Podcasts, so if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, follow us through there. Google Podcasts, the same. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Peace.